For more, let's bring in former State Department advisor on Iran, Gabriel Noronha, along with former Pentagon official Alex Plitsas. Alex, I want to start with you. It infuriates me to watch the media behave in this manner. No other president would be able to broker a ceasefire as President Trump has done. We saw the last two presidents we've had drew red lines and then didn't follow through. When President Trump draws one, he means it. And he never gets the credit he deserves.
Yeah, I mean, I think let me try to take some of the politics out of it that were kind of in some of the videos that you displayed earlier, right? And there were people from different sides of the aisle making comments. So I spoke to several National Security Council officials from the Biden administration era, as well as our former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, Dan Shapiro, who's also our former ambassador to Israel. He left office at the end of the Biden administration. He put out a tweet not that long ago, and it's consistent with what I'm hearing from most folks. The weapon systems deployed against the target as they were supposed to, and when you drop a 30,000-pound bunker-busting bomb with 6,000 pounds of high explosives in it, if they were delivered and they were on target, I mean, I've worked this problem set for a while. It's hard to imagine that the centrifuges are going to be in some sort of working condition, given how fragile they are, if they in fact hit the targets, which they did. And I trust the chairman's accurate assertion this morning. He's a nonpartisan figure and he knows what he's talking about.
And Gabriel, Alex just truly hit on what I took away as well from the briefing this morning. And Pete was, Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, was hitting the press, rightfully so, because I saw that CNN report that came out, and it didn't say, what was the language that it had in it? Low confidence in that finding. That wasn't in the initial CNN report. Low confidence was nowhere in that report. But it was so important to see the illustration and hear from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Kane, that they had been working on this for 15 years, and to hear how precise these weapons are and how careful the planning is. That being said, the whole point of the mission was to destroy the nuclear sites and the centrifuges. And now we're left with, well, was the uranium destroyed, Gabriel?
Look, I used to clear these intelligence assessments for public release on Iran for 2 years at the State Department. It's a very rigorous process, and I can tell you two things. First, anyone that leaks a low confidence intel assessment is simply trying to politicize the intelligence, and they care absolutely nothing for U.S. national security. Here's what they're in fact trying to do. They're trying to spread the narrative that you cannot end Iran's nuclear program with a bomb. You have to end it with appeasement and pallets of cash. That's the first thing. The second thing is that CIA Director Ratcliffe put out an authoritative statement stating that there was a lot of intelligence indicating severe damage to that nuclear program. I trust that statement. I've helped build those statements before, and I've helped see the war plans and what would actually entail destroying that program. I trust that. I trust President Trump's declarations on this, and I absolutely do not trust any leaker at the Pentagon or the CIA who is trying to derail this to get a jab in at Trump.
Both this morning, General Kane and Pete Hegseth said that they didn't have any known intel that Iran had moved the enriched uranium. Gabriel, you talked about this earlier. Do we need to be concerned about where that enriched uranium is? It's 60%, not 90%, and assuming that the centrifuges are not working, they can't enrich it.
Look, I am a little worried. 2 days before the strike, a senior IRGC general was bragging on Iranian TV that they had in fact moved it to a secure location. And so this is one of those things that I want to trust but verify that we have in fact destroyed it. That uranium isn't radioactive in the sense that it can't be used for a dirty bomb, but they can easily have a secret centrifuge site. They've been promising that as well, where they could eventually turn this into 90% weapons grade uranium. So yes, we should destroy that if it exists anywhere out in the open. I trust the Israelis and the U.S. government are on that. But that is something we should spare zero expense to track down and entirely eliminate. Important to remember, Al-Qaeda's headquarters is still in Tehran.
And Gabriel, I want to get to Alex real quick before we have to go. You know, Alex, have you been surprised by the weakness of Iran? I mean, to me, I've been surprised by it. Have you been?
I think it was less surprised by the weakness and a little bit more surprised by the Israelis, less so after their operations to take out Hezbollah and the ballistic missile threat in southern Lebanon, but the amount of planning that went into it. I mean, there were 200 aircraft on the first night. There was clearly covert paramilitary operations on the ground as well as special operations forces. They built a covert drone base inside the country, reports of remote missile bases. They completely own the skies at this point. And so I think to the point Gabriel was making there, if there was still nuclear material that was floating around and the Israelis thought they needed to hit it, they own the skies, they would also be hitting these targets again, which is the purpose of the original strikes if they felt they weren't sufficient. So, you know, like you said, there were reports that 15 to 16 trucks may have left Fordo on Wednesday. We don't know what was in them. They've also been asked of any part of negotiations to hand that material over. So we're nowhere near done, and the Israelis and the U.S. will go back if they have to.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Watch your pagers to those in Iran.
We'll be fine.
I will, like everybody in Silicon
They're
Valley
fine.
will never get over that. Alex, Gabriel,